Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining us, everyone, on another Monday. It is March 176th, I think. Yeah. Time doesn't exist anymore ever since this pandemic. And so, yeah, today's, I think, March 176th or something like that. But yeah, thank you for joining us. I am Kurt. I'm dev advocate at Apollo. For those who might not know and be joining us for the first time, and I have with me Trevor Blades.
Hello.
I guess actually, when we start off for this week, I just want to take a moment to talk about something that's pretty sombering that happened yesterday. Unfortunately, there was another terrible shooting of a black man. His name is Jacob Blake, and he was shot 7 times in the back by police in Kenona, Wisconsin, or Kenosha, Wisconsin. So I just want to take a moment just to kind of, let you know that we're with you. Black lives do matter, and these police shootings are terrible, and we're sorry that you're having to experience this. And so I hate to start on a note like that, but at the same time, it needs to be voiced, and these things need to be talked about. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll move on to our normally scheduled GraphQL content. Yes, it's true. It was not a shooting. It is a murder. However, he's actually still alive in critical condition, so let's all send good vibes his way, and hopefully he can pull through. Um, yeah, it's terrible, regardless of what it is. Attempted murder. I like it. That's actually a much better term. Yeah. So definitely get thoughts, good vibes, prayers, whatever religion it is that you may believe in. But not a good time. Not a good time at all. That's don't like starting on that kind of note, but at the same time, we must start on that note because otherwise nothing happens. So yeah. With that, I'm gonna move on into some of our GraphQL stuff. But first, just want to know, how's everyone doing? Also, I want to note that if you are out there and you have discovered something in GraphQL that you want to share with us, because I always only remember to do this at the end. But if you have something you want to share with us, please drop a link in the chat, and we'll try and take a look at that as well. How's everyone's weekend? How was your weekend, Trevor?
My weekend was pretty good. Just got back from the island last night or yesterday morning. So I spent a few days over there over the weekend and end of last week, and it was very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a good time.
That's awesome.
And how about yours?
It was pretty uneventful. Was home. I played some D&D, some tabletop gaming for the first time in a long time, so that was fun. I definitely enjoyed that. Dealing with a lot of joint pain, so I have to go out into the world and get my medicine because it's time. Like my joints are just starting to hurt too much for me to
Hmm.
exercise. And so now I need to get out there and get my meds. But yeah, not looking forward to that, but I'm going to do that tomorrow. I found a pharmacy that has been, they do like drive through pickup. So I'm going to do that. So that'll be cool.
Cool.
And then, let's see. Endestrone has been trying some new tooling emerging around AppSync. Well, drop a link in the chat if you can find it. I'd be interested to check that out. But yeah, other than that, uneventful weekend. Just kind of hung out at home with the family, and yeah, the D&D stuff ate up a good part of my Sunday. I didn't realize how long it would take me to get 8 character sheets loaded into the platform, and yeah, that took a while. Yeah, Oh, I did get access to Codespaces, GitHub Codespaces, and I tried it out. I actually tried it out on my personal stream. So let me drop just that link in the chat real quick, and then you can go see what it was like. And if I can remember what oh yeah, yeah. So definitely go check that out if you haven't yet. It was a really fun stream. I worked on self-defined app and got to try out GitHub's Codespaces. For those who are not familiar, Codespaces are virtual environments where you get like a small server, VS Code, a terminal, and you can connect to a GitHub repository and you can code from within your browser, like not local development. It's really awesome. It was a great experience, and I even tested it out on my daughter starting her first year of, or I guess semester at least, of remote schooling. So we got her a Chromebook, and I spun up a code space on her Chromebook, and I was working on my personal site on her Chromebook, and she got mad.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, she got mad. She's like, "Can I have my laptop back?" It's like 1 minute, one more commit, and then you can have it back. Yeah, so yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, definitely.
How does Codespaces compare to something like Code Sandbox?
Let's see. Actually, I think actually both would work. So Code Sandbox, you could also load up an environment. I think one of the most, just interesting things for me is like the terminal experience. It's VS Code, so it's a VS Code terminal. I mean, since we're like talking about it, do you want to just look at it real quick? I could just pull it up on the stream. So let me just bring it up on the stream then real quick. Might as well, right? And yeah, so it's cool. It'll do all the tunneling for you. So like when I ran the project, it took me opened up like the project and like ported that forward to a public URL so that it could be accessed, which is really cool. It has live sharing included inside of it. So yeah. So it's going to take a second to start up. While it does, I'm going to open up this link from Enderstone, and we're going to take a look at that.
Sure.
And this is Punchcard. It's interesting. So Punchcard abstraction. I don't really know what that is. For AppSync, it unifies GraphQL, velocity templates, into a single type-safe environment. That's really interesting. Okay. I'd be curious. This sounds like a good place for like a blog post or something like that. So what is Punchcard? TypeScript framework for building cloud applications with AWS CDK. Okay. That's interesting. This is very interesting.
What is a CDK?
So CDK is it's their like cloud development kit, I want to say.
Okay.
So let's open this link in the new tab. First, I'll drop the link to Punchcard. Boom. And then so we've got AWS CDK, which is the cloud development kit. So it's like how you spin. It's a package that you can use to do things like spin up AppSync, APIs or other, just really lots of like AWS cloud infrastructure, really whatever you want. But yeah, programmatical way to do that as opposed to like CloudFormation templates or something like that. So declarative as opposed to imperative, right? And then
I see.
Yeah, so then we also so Samuel Goodwin's got a blog post about this. So this is cool. So I'll drop this in the chat as well. Oh, actually I don't need to because Enderstone that's how I opened it. Okay. So let's see. Oh, Sam is a library author. Got it. Very cool. Yeah, so this looks interesting.
Okay, so what place does Punchcard have related to the CDK? If the CDK is like the thing you use to spin up Amazon cloud stuff.
Yeah, it looks like to my eyes. So CDK is very imperative, right? So Punchcard sits above that. It's a higher level abstraction on top of CDK that is typed. It's TypeScript and it's like type safe, and you can like build out using Punchcard on top of the CDK. So you don't have to go low level and know how to use CDK yourself. That's what I'm picking up. Is that right? Oh, I didn't know CDK was also type safe. That's cool. But regardless, okay, so it's just a higher level abstraction. Oh, neat. So you can do like new Lambda function. Okay. Just a higher level abstraction. Nice. That's cool, yeah? Yeah, thank you for sharing. Awesome. That's cool, yeah? Yeah. All right, so let's see. Did I share all those links? I did. And by now, my code space should be up. And it is. So here's my
All right.
so here's my code space, and so this is it actually starts up the app for you. So if I, or maybe it did not do that. No, okay.
Looks great.
Yeah, but if I, so I have a terminal. So if I just run, I might have to install my dependencies. Let's just see what happens if I do npm run serve.
Sure.
Because I believe that's the command I want. Yeah, concurrently, it's going to serve it, and it's going to build the CSS.
And what is a .njk file?
That's Nunjux. That's a templating language. That is just something for Eleventy. It's an Eleventy app, and Eleventy lets you pick your templating engine. And this app, this particular project, uses Nunjux, which is a templating engine written by Mozilla.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's built, and you can look here in Codespaces. I'm on the Remote Explorer tab. We have these forwarded ports, 8080 and 301, and I just click on it, and it's going to open up to this like forwarded port that's exposed to the internet. And so here's my app running, and if I share this in chat, y'all should probably be able to go and check this out. I would imagine. I don't know. Let me know if that works for you.
Ooh, page not found. Unfortunately, I think I might have to be like authorized.
Yeah, but that's cool because that means it's a private environment for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess either outcome would have been like cool for different reasons.
Yeah, but I'm gonna start a collaboration session because it has live share. So now let me paste to you, Trevor. Let me see if I can drop this in chat. If I can get chat. Oh, here's chat. Oops. And then let me drop that in there, and let's see if you can join.
Sure. I also noticed there's an external URL.
That's for browser sync. That's part of the project, so that wouldn't technically be the external URL for you.
I see. Where did you paste it?
Oh, in Skype.
Oh, okay. Let's do this. All right. Loading file tree.
Uh-oh.
Signing in.
Uh-oh.
...
Progress. Dun, 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 dun. And I wonder if it'll take a while to load because it's like this remote kind of thing. But I am sharing my servers with you. So if it does load, hey!
Nice.
So now, so you're in there. And now see if you can go to localhost 8080. See if that works for you.
Sure. All right. I'm going to go over to localhost 8080, and it works. I'm in here.
Very cool. Hacker voice. I'm in.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome. It's dope, right? So I am going to be using this. So I've been a long time formulating this nonprofit idea for helping folks coming out of incarceration make entry into tech. So I want to run like boot camps, free boot camps, right? Like not paid, but free. I'm going to run the entire cohort within Discord and then use Codespaces for the coding. Fish, hey, thank you for joining us. And then use the Codespaces for the development, and then all they would need is a Chromebook, right? Because the goal is to supply equipment if they don't have it, like laptop. Also, hopefully, a living assistance so that we can, because that's the biggest cause of recidivism is lack of stability when you get out, lack of support. So that's the goal. And now this means like a $250 Chromebook will be powerful enough for them to develop because the terminal, all the projects and everything is running externally. So boopity boop. And then because it's a workshop, I can use live share and they can just come into the app and stuff like that. So it should be pretty cool, I think.
And that's really neat. And I wonder if you can like tweak the like what would it be, like visibility settings on a code space, so that like multiple people can access it without live share, I guess. Like similar to how you would even like offering read-only access.
Yeah.
Which I guess would be possible with live share, but
Yep.
I'm thinking more like Code Sandbox style, where you can just see the state of a repo
Yes.
within an editor interface, kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I love that idea, man.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I think it's going to be really good, and yeah. Oh, awesome, Fish. Yeah, Apollo GraphQL, right? When making GraphQL APIs, we love to hear it. Yeah, we hope it is efficient. We're definitely always trying to make sure it is efficient and easy to use. So glad to hear that you're being successful with it. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Also, folks, we have closed captioning. So if you need closed captioning, you can now just click the little closed captioning button within Twitch, and you should have closed captioning. Dun 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 dun. Makes me happy.
Can hit the C button to toggle it on and off as well.
Yeah. And it will also be on all VODs that we upload to YouTube moving forward as well. Isn't that sweet?
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. So that was cool. It was cool. I like Codespaces. I'm into that. I guess we should probably dive into our GraphQL stuff that we've got going on. What do you say? Should we just go ahead and get into our first item?
Let's do it.
All right. I love it. So I switched back to us. I guess I probably should have just stayed on the browser. So let me jump back in there. Oh, cool. That's awesome. Love to hear that closed captioning is there. Good. Yeah. Oh, sub to the YouTube. Yo, y'all stop. You may make me blush. I love it. Love to see it. All right. So let's check out our first link. So what we've got is Ben Awad has released a new tutorial, full stack tutorial with React, GraphQL, TypeScript, and more. I went and checked it out. It's not as long as you would think it is for having all of that packed in. It's like a 20 or 30 minute overview. Yeah, it was nice. Goes over some TypeScript stuff. I believe it uses Urkel, but he makes a lot of references to how that would also be done with Apollo. Oh, it's 13 hours, not 13 minutes. Dear Lord. I guess I misread that. Thank you for the... Yo, you watched it yesterday? Damn. Yo, that's awesome, though. But yeah, definitely. It seems like you've all already checked it out. Yeah, right? Yeah. Yo, it seems that I misjudged the length of time on it. It is pretty good, though. Amazing. Yeah, that's good. I love to hear it. Yeah, that's awesome. 14 hours, and it's free. That's amazing. You know, that's so funny.
I mean, it's interesting. Like it's like kind of like audiobook style. And you know, I think there's certainly room for. I don't think there's one way to do content. Certainly, like Egghead and others have popularized the short tutorial format.
Yeah.
But that being the case, it's kind of left the door open for longer form tutorials for people who enjoy that style of content as well. So
for sure, because you could just
stop. It's all good in my book.
Yeah, you could just stop anywhere and just go back to the URL and pick up right where you left off. You can share it from any point. So, you know, it's basically tomato in my eyes, you know?
Mm-hmm. Potato.
That's it. Yeah, got through 2 hours. Nice, and skipped to the end. Yeah, but I wonder. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering if he used the he is using the YouTube segments. So in the or if you expand the description of the video, you can see like all the timestamps and you can just jump to specific topics by doing that. But holy smokes, that's one of the longest time signatures I've seen on a YouTube video in a long time.
Seriously, that's awesome. Good for you, Ben. Took a full day to render, Enderstone said. That's so funny. Yeah, so that was the first thing I had up. Next thing I got up, let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't put this in the chat. Let me do that real quick. Bad form, pizza. Bad form. All right. So it's a little Hook reference there for anyone that remembers that movie. All right.
Barely.
Yeah, right. I watched it with the kids. That's why it's like fresh on my mind. Next thing I want to talk about is the one and only lovely Eve Porcello, who makes such amazing GraphQL content, gave a talk at Reactdelphia about real-time apps with GraphQL. However, the other two talks were also absolutely awesome. So definitely worth checking out all of the talks. But yeah, Eve's was very specific to that. So Daniel's talk was really about modern web apps, and he goes into like Vue and Nuxt and talks about some GraphQL stuff in there a little bit. CodePixie, that's Emily, I believe is her name, and then she talked about the importance of networking and how like now is a very opportune time to do it because everything is remote, and especially for us introverts. You know, it's a bit easier to kind of pick up our networking right now because there's not that face-to-face kind of anxiety associated with it. It's all remote. So definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth checking out in my eyes. But yeah, great talks. Great. Yes, the Honeypot.io GraphQL documentary on YouTube. Yeah, so we actually looked at this a while back and actually watched a few minutes of it and referenced that. But yeah, that was a great documentary, just like on GraphQL, the history of it, where it's going, and all that fun jazz. Next up, we've got, let's see, this one I thought might be interesting for some folks. The Kitsy, the man himself, is hosting a remote GraphQL workshop, and it's for React Summit 2020. It's probably paid though, so be forewarned. I would imagine it's a paid workshop, but if you're wanting to learn GraphQL and you know you got a little bit of money to spend, might be worth looking into. But yeah, cool stuff. I love it. Love seeing the GraphQL content. Yeah, React Summit's remote this year, as most other things are. The next one I've got is really just an in case you missed it, because I had so much fun doing this. Brian Douglas from GitHub came on the stream and showed me how to use GitHub Actions. And so what we did was we took a local schema file and we used GitHub Actions to push that into Apollo Studio. So it's really cool for a multitude of reasons. One, it just like integrates well with your CI/CD flow, and if you have a static GraphQL file, it just makes a lot of sense. It's an easy way to do it. The second part about this is we also added a second action by the lovely Ian Sutherland it runs the Apollo CLI to do checks against your pull requests. So you can see if the changes that you're making in your PR to your schema would break your API for folks, like changing an optional property to required, right? That has the potential to break clients downstream, and this would fail your PR and notify you. It's pretty wild stuff. It's very cool. Yeah, it's really cool. So definitely watch this stream and check it out. We go over a lot of like how to set that up, and it's definitely worth the watch. Now, it's also good to know if you're just using Apollo Server, you don't necessarily have to do that to push your schema. You don't have to use CI/CD either. You can actually just turn a flag on. Yeah, it's more of a DevOps efficiency, exactly. And yeah, but it's very useful. Or for folks who are coming from other programming languages like Python and stuff like that, where maybe there is no Apollo server and you can't get that automatic ability to push your schema, then this opens that door for you and makes it an action that you can just use. Haven't done it yet, but I'm going to make like an example project of like an Apollo server with these actions preset up in it as a repository template. So then in the future, starting your GraphQL projects, you just clone over that template and you'd have all this ready to go. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm going to be working on that later this week with an accompanying blog post. I haven't written a blog.
Very cool.
Yeah, I haven't written a blog post for Apollo yet, and this feels like a good one. I'm working on this one and one for pagination as well. So
Sweet.
Yeah, all
Never
good
been a
things.
better time.
Never been a better time. Never a better time than the present.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of what else. Oh, what else we got going on? Oh yeah, this one is a shout out to the first ever GraphQL FM podcast was recorded and is available on Twitch. And speaking of, it's got someone who does a lot of the GraphQL work for Twitch as one of the co-hosts of the podcast. So this is definitely worth checking out. So Mark Andre and Tony Gita from Twitch, they are doing this new podcast, and it's definitely worth checking out. And boom, their first guest is Dan Schaefer. And yeah, it was a really good episode. I liked it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out later. I often like to just like have podcasts on in the background while I'm working. So
too.
This will be a perfect accompaniment.
Yeah, and I forgot some other links. So there's the link to the React Summit workshop. Did I get Eve Purcello's? Yes. So I did get that. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing these. And then I forgot as well to do the talk on YouTube or the mission briefing from last week with Brian Douglas. So that should get us caught up. Yeah. You got anything you want to throw on there? Well?
Yeah, I threw in a link right under the GraphQL FM podcast in our doc.
Oh, there we go.
GraphQL Madrid meetup number 2 happened on Friday.
Nice.
And our very own Khalil Stemler spoke at this meetup.
That's right.
And so along with a few
there
others in the community that you might know of. Sam Julian spoke. Shruti Kapoor was involved. All of the GraphQL heavy hitters were there, and I would highly recommend you guys check this out. Again, this is another thing you could easily throw on in the background and listen to while you're at work today. And I know for sure Khalil has a lot of great knowledge to share, and I'm sure the same goes for the others as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love it. And so we're coming up here on kind of our last ones, and it's funny because like I actually am. We have a bit of a shorter episode today, but it all ties into this next link, which is MDXConf is happening right now. So here we are. This is Twitchception. I'm gonna pause it. And let me drop this link here into the chat because right now I'm showing you Twitch while we stream on Twitch, which is wild in and of itself. But yeah, so Party Corgi network is where that's going down. And oh hey, Treyu0688, thank you for the follow. So this is if you're not familiar with MDX allows you to use JSX components inside of Markdown, which is very powerful because it works within like Vue, it works within React, it works within Preact, and so it just opens up these doors to a lot of really GraphQL FM in the chat. What is up, y'all? Oh, and we got the follow. Love it. Oh, Apollo's not following Party Corgi Network. I gotta fix that. There we go. So it's definitely something that you might want to check out if MDX is something that you're interested in. I use it on my personal site, and it allows me to write my blog posts in Markdown, but include really interactive and fun components along with it without a lot of work. So I'm a big fan of it. And then also, so they also
not only that, but I just wanted to add that I wouldn't say that even if you don't have the intention of using React components within your Markdown, Enderstone, we're getting you a link right now, but even if you don't need to use like interactive React components within your Markdown, which is really nice, but even if you want to just author Markdown, MDX has really great tooling around
That's true.
That, like, I would argue
That's
that
true.
getting started with MDX is faster to get set up than getting a Markdown site working within a React project. It just kind of fits together a lot nicer. And especially for me, a lot of the Markdown pages that I end up writing, they exist within a React site. The different like text and heading elements are subbed out for React components with like CSS and JS styles or something like that. And if you want to have that kind of tooling in your project, MDX offers a faster way to get set up than just using Remark or some of these other Markdown tools.
Yeah. It's not quite like Storybook JS, whereas like Storybook is really about component isolation and working with like individual components, whereas MDX is more about utilities to make it easier to add components to things, if that makes sense. Is that a good way to phrase that? What do you think?
Yeah, it's like you would use MDX in the same or many of the similar cases where you would use Markdown, but places where you'd want to add the interactivity of React within a Markdown document. And Scott asked if you'd be able to use MDX components even in things like GitHub README, and right now the answer is no, because GitHub itself would need to have MDX
support
being compiled somehow. But hopefully one day, if this thing takes off enough,
we'll see it everywhere.
That would be a future that I'd look forward to very much. And things like this MDXConf, which we're going to send you guys off to in a few moments, are the kind of events that we need to really get MDX into the developer consciousness. Hopefully end up in GitHub's lap one day.
Yeah, absolutely. And the more adoption that these things see, as you mentioned, right, the more they'll proliferate throughout different areas. And yeah, you could imagine a world in which headless CMSs and all these other things will add native support for MDX, because that becomes the standard for when you're writing Markdown. And the way, much like there's like short codes and stuff in WordPress, I could see a world in which there's MDX components that you can just use, like YouTube, and would embed a YouTube video or a tweet for you to make your life much easier there. So it's a very early stage for this space, and so there's only room to grow. And so I think this is why MDXConf is so great and why these things are so important, is because we don't know what's possible. So we just got to see what people are doing with it and try and push the bounds. MDX version 2 is basically out now, or on the cusp of being like a official release. But yeah, it's definitely a space to watch for, because it opens a lot of really interesting doors.
Yeah, you said
it. Yeah. I feel like with that, we've built the hype. The hype is here. Should we go? Should we all go to MDXConf now? I mean, I've got.
What are you guys
else.
even doing here?
Yeah. Why are you still here?
Have we not convinced you enough that this is the thing?
So I want to see if we can start a raid on Party Corgi Network.
Please do. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So we can raid. So I'm setting it up. Bit of a shorter episode, but we still appreciate you tuning in as always. And yeah, I mean, with that, I guess we can just head out. Should we say goodbye?
Have a great time over at Party Corgi Network, guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks again for the stream. Thanks everybody who followed, and we'll catch you next Monday.
See you later, everyone.
Bye-bye.